Hello? Maybe? I'll just start talking, and if it's too early, then I guess we will get cut off anyways. Yeah, hello.
I think it's fine.
Okay, good. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I will be playing Tomb Raider. I'm Cadarev, but with me I have someone else. Hello, Robbie.
Hello, I'm Robbie.
Also known
Welcome,
as
everyone.
Epic Dude Guy. And
No.
yeah, we will show you this amazing game. And yeah, we'll just start. Wait, edit state. Yeah, okay, good. Once I click normal, which is required for reasons, we will start the run. So that's in 3, 2, 1, go. The introductory thank you. Introductory FMV is very quiet. Don't worry about it. This is for your own sanity later on. We will explain. And yeah, we start out with some cutscenes that we can skip and transition into a cutscene that we cannot skip. That's great. Thank you for the good luck, everyone. Yeah, so luckily, if you would do attempts of this, you could skip all of this. So there is roughly 1 minute and 50 seconds of very limited gameplay to start. That through sheer force of will, we were finally able to convince the mods that we can start from a save file.
Well, you did, right?
Yes, and by sheer force of will, I mean I was just fed up with it and starting from save file. And I was the only runner at the time, so lucky.
Back in my day, we had to do some swimming.
Yeah.
Swinging.
Hopefully I remember how to do that. I think you started right. Okay, good. So yeah, story-wise, we are on an expedition, and the expedition kind of didn't go so well. So we are shipwrecked on this Japanese island, and we're also kind of captured, I guess. And we have to get free, and we do that by setting ourselves on fire, which is the only reasonable approach.
It's definitely the theme of this game. Setting things on fire.
Oh, wait, how did I not? Oh, God. I think you can, or what was it not? I don't even remember. I don't even remember what Optimus
No, that
was
was correct.
Oh, okay, good. Never mind. I know how to do this. So then we get poked, and we remove this rebar or whatever it is, and then I quit out to main menu because I'm already fed up with
And
this
that's
game.
the rub.
Yeah. All right, and time now. Then we continue and hope that things work out. And I did not count correctly, so things did not work.
Amazing. So yeah, what Kelly's trying to do here is do jump inputs during the loading screen, and then Lara doesn't have collision yet, and you can get out of bounds, as you can see here.
Thus
so now we
starts
get to,
our adventure.
And this is called Intro Out of Bounds.
Very creative.
Very unexpected. So Kelly has to do a bunch of weird movement out of bounds, climbing rocks and stuff, avoiding getting inbounds, because then the whole thing is over. And you basically have to get all the way through to save time. So
yes, not only am I
we
avoiding to go back inbounds, but also fall into the void.
Yeah, falling is worse. And I don't think this has been done successfully in a marathon yet, so
not in a bigger
no
marathon
pressure.
at least. Yeah, so the next two jumps are pretty much the crucial ones, especially this one.
Oh, nice.
Still not over there.
So that's
so far we still
probably
really
the
haven't
hardest,
skipped anything.
Yeah, the skipping starts now basically, but it's a lot easier from now on.
Oh.
And there you go. Nice.
Yeah, so what we did there,
like, what was it, 2 minutes or something?
I don't know, I would have to run glitchless for that to find out, and I'm not doing that. But yeah, basically we skipped one big puzzle room there at the end, where you would have to light some things on fire and do stuff I don't want to think about, so good. Also we go out of bounds here again. This one is a lot shorter, we just skip a QTE here that would save like 7 to 10 seconds, I don't know. And that's intro pretty much. Now we just rapidly climb the surface.
Yeah, I always wonder how this is humanly possible.
I'm not sure like at what angle this is shot, because from this angle it looks
Yeah.
somewhat doable, but then you have the other angle, which is like this. I don't know.
But also like climbing watery rocks.
Yes, but the rocks
Super
like fall
slippery.
down like super vertically, so it still looks
Yeah.
vertical. I don't know.
But she gets it done.
Yes.
Because Lara don't care.
Yes, and now she will find out what game she's in. It's pretty good.
Where am I? Oh, I'm in a video game.
The video game is called Tomb Raider, despite us not raiding any tombs. I think that's pretty funny. But yeah, this is the first of the reboot trilogy, as it's called. It came out in 2013, unsurprisingly, since it's called Tomb Raider 2013. I mean, officially it's just called Tomb Raider, but that's what we call it to distinguish it from the very first one. And yeah, it was a very big break in like how they presented the games. Also, don't mind the stuck camera and the QTE prompt. I'm not following that QTE prompt.
Are you okay, game?
No, I will not
But it's
mash
still
left and
happening.
right. Yeah, I think it goes away in the next checkpoint.
It's actually incorrect. Because you have to alternate left and right,
That
not
is
just
correct,
mash it.
yeah.
It's trickery. Germans would explain it so much better.
Yeah, speaking of, we're actually running this in English, so the text language does not matter, the voice language does matter. English is actually faster because it's slower. It will make sense later on.
Whoa, that's deep.
But yeah,
So
here
now
I
I guess
tried and
she-
failed to skip this get up animation. You can make this jump if you do what we call a scramble jump, so scrambling and then jumping is pretty much the fastest way of movement. You can make that jump there. I failed to do, but yeah, guess I did.
And the movement in this game is actually really nice to do, because most of the time you'll be basically scramble jumping, so you just slide and then you jump all the time and chain that together. So you put the slide on mouse wheel down and then the jump on mouse wheel up, and then you can just wiggle the mouse wheel back and forth. It's really
Yeah.
nice.
Some places we don't want to jump because it's slower, like in windy areas, for example, like on that cliff. I just did rolls. Rolls are also pretty fast, especially downhill. But yeah, generally we want to scramble jump. And here we can checkpoint reload, which is also done a few times in this run. In this case it skips Lara slowly getting up from the ground after that slide. And yeah. Just approaching our first campfire. So campfires are kind of the bigger checkpoints in this game. They allow you to fast travel later on, and you can use skill points and salvage material to upgrade your gear later on.
Yeah, RPG elements, by the way,
So
which we will use like 3 times.
yeah, exactly. And especially not at the start when they expect us to. So right now we're looking for a weapon. Oh look, a weapon. That's
Now we have our first quest.
exactly.
Obtain a weapon. Small shortcut there to get up the rocks.
I can do this.
You gotta be fast to get a good swing cycle here.
Yeah, this should still work out. Otherwise you have to
Nice.
wait for an extra swing.
And now the hardest part of the game.
Yeah. Probably 3-shot. Yeah. Damn. Already suboptimal. There we kill this deer to progress the story triggers, basically. Because now we're supposed to go back to the campfire, but we will not.
I think it's inside there, right?
Yeah, right.
How do we get inside though? Oh,
Maybe with a magic wand in the form of a bow.
yeah, having a weapon's pretty OP in this game. You can basically clip through thin walls or doors by How do you do it again?
So
you dash
aim.
backwards into
Yeah.
it, and then you aim until the camera starts shaking, and then you're also pretty much halfway through already. And then you have to bash backwards, like a
Yes.
bash attack you can do.
And you can turn your camera while doing that to further help with clipping in most cases.
And it's also kind of FPS dependent, so
Yes.
I don't know if this kind of streams your FPS as well.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, it's like it's mostly run at like 160-ish. I think if you go 60 or like below, then you won't be able to clip as easily.
Yeah. And also some other glitches are very dependent on FPS, so higher FPS are beneficial for some glitches but detrimental to others, so around 160 is like the sweet spot for most people.
Yeah, so here Caddy's going to do another kind of clip, but this time it's going to shoot Lara upwards partially. The camera's still stuck down.
Never mind. Let me do it again.
And you have to fuse them back together by there being space for both of them to connect again, if that makes any sense. So that's why Caddy's going to a ledge and then jumping off of it.
Yeah, like that.
Because then there's space for them to fuse again. It's kind of weird.
In case you couldn't tell.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
basically
otherwise
the
if you
model-
don't fuse and I would jump, I would just go through the ceiling as you saw on the first try. That's why
Yeah.
we have to fuse them.
the model gets
Displaced.
cut from the
Yeah.
camera, and it really wants to go back there again. So if you do jumping, you just get sucked down.
Right now we're collecting some salvage. We need 5 crates equaling 50 salvage to upgrade our whatever it is right now, meat cleaver, climbing axe thingy. That's not quite a climbing axe yet. Also, yeah, some interesting non-existing textures there, but now they're back. Also, a reload checkpoint, otherwise the wolves would prevent me from sitting down here and just sit down here for the upgrade of the gear. It's required for the story progression. And now we're supposed to open that gate with the upgraded gear, but we can also just not do that.
Let's do this, Doctor.
That's dubious, yeah.
And so this way you won't really get to clip through because it's too thick, but instead you get on top of it, which is better in this case.
Yeah, we can just jump over the gate in this case, leaving Dr. Whitman behind. Or so it seems. Because he just makes it through anyways, I guess.
Incredible.
Oh, there he is.
Who are you people? What do you want with us?
Oh, look,
And now
we're
we're
captured,
captured
again.
again.
But this time by Russian guys. It's variety. Very attentive Russian guys, apparently. Not noticing Lara or the loud thuds Lara's making when she rolls past them.
Stay quiet. Oh. Luckily he's blind.
Okay, now we have to hide, so let's look for a very not obvious hiding spot. I think right here in the open of this hut is a pretty good hiding spot. And if we don't look at them, they don't see us. This should work. Also, if notice, the Russian they're speaking is very not good Russian, in the sense that it's like not making any sense apparently, or so I've been told.
Speaking Russian. So how
Sir,
tight do you think
please.
those ropes are?
Look pretty tight, otherwise she wouldn't still be tied to the... Oh, okay. Oh well.
Pacifist run. Nice.
Yes. This doesn't count towards pacifist, don't worry about it.
It just went
fine.
off.
Yeah, so now we got the hand pistol, So we'll get a tutorial on how to properly use it here. And this tutorial is almost impossible to do correctly. Because after like 2 seconds, Lara gets drunk. Luckily,
Wait for me.
I got them both before that happened. So don't worry about it.
Here's the best skip in the game.
What am
Burning house skip. So you can, if you weapon toggle, you can also trigger a kind of clipping situation.
That's... Oh my god. Went left
here,
totally.
It puts you on the rock, and the rock has weird collision all around, and you
In
have
case you
to
couldn't tell.
maneuver around a bunch of death triggers to get on top of it.
That looks better.
And it's also like pulling you in different directions. It's really weird, but nicely done. The second time.
May it still have save time over doing the normal route. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, normally you're supposed to get inside the house and then they set the house on fire and you have to get out again. It's pretty slow.
Lara, are you there?
Yes.
And yeah, now we just listen to Lara talking to Roth.
You okay?
Roth is basically the leader of the expedition
What?
and kind of her mentor.
I don't know
And
why.
they're trying
I had
to
kill someone
reunite
else.
right
I
now.
had no choice.
That can't
Somewhat
have been easy.
poorly attempting to.
It's scary just how easy
And
it was.
yeah, once I'm up here, we just have to get to the top of the mountain basically.
You just do
So
whatever it takes to
first
get
we make
to
our
the
way
top.
up this
I'll
staircase.
try.
Is this pre-recorded or live? I don't know.
Just got word from the West Beach.
Well, technically, live's also pre-recorded, just like very short time in between.
Yeah, so if you kill those two guys with the pistol quickly enough, they do not raise an alarm. If you try to kill them with the bow, since the bow is slower with reloading, they will raise an alarm, despite the bow being a quiet weapon, so it's pretty good. And what is also pretty good is somewhat consistent crashes in the game.
I crashed here on my first playthrough. It's awesome.
And... never mind. Yeah, so this spot is very frequently crashing, even like as Robbie said in normal playthroughs or in glitchless. So luckily for attempts you're allowed to pause the timer until you get back to the same spot. But there's no like known way to avoid it really. Just gamble.
Funny choice of words. Since you have like a do the gamble sometimes
Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah. Alright, another.
Are there
very
any
small-
gambles on the?
Sorry?
Are there any gambles on the marathon,
I
or have there been?
don't know. Don't think so.
Shame. Not that I ever am able to participate
True.
because of my country of residence. Nice move.
All this part of
Yeah, now we're in the mountain village. We're supposed to get a radio further up in a wolf's cave. The radio belongs to Roth, I think, and he kind of dropped it. And we're supposed to get it back. So we quickly reunite with Roth. He's wounded and down at the campfire. So now we go ahead and not get the radio back. Instead we do something way cooler, hopefully. Which is skywalking,
Right.
which is the bread and butter glitch pretty much in this run.
Yeah.
Robbie, if you will.
Do you want the complex explanation or the simple?
Whatever takes more time, so I have to speak less.
So you jump on a slope and then it slides you down, and then when you pivot, you stop all that momentum, and then you kind of gain control of the sliding, and you can slide upwards or in most directions that you want. But to control it is very difficult, and you have to really learn at every spot where you do it. You have to kind of learn how to do it there exactly. So you move the controls like up right, up left, and the camera in the same direction. Yeah, there's a lot that can go wrong.
Yeah. as you can see, it allows us to slide along like the walls of level basically, which, as you might expect, is pretty helpful to with skipping quite big chunks of the game. So there we completely skipped going back, like first getting the radiant, then going back and getting an upgrade that allows us to climb all the way up here. Instead, we just skywalked all the way up here.
Okay, Lara. Pull yourself together.
And now we're in the
Yeah. And when you're learning this run, that one is probably the first one you'll do, and it's also one of the harder ones.
yes.
So it's kind of brutal.
Yeah, there will be a few of those, but as Robbie said, all of them kind of you have to do differently, like move the camera differently. There's no one, like there's not a recipe you can just apply to all of them. Like the basic mechanics work the same, but yeah, they all have to be done in distinct ways.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
So here
Also
I
when
can get
you're
sniped.
learning-
Hopefully I won't. Good. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
But when I was learning the run, every time you get a skywalk down, it's like, oh, let's go to the next one. And you basically have to start all over.
Just do the job. How many came in from the new rack?
Yeah, now we are in the enemy base here. Have to stealth around. That's a pretty good approach to stealthing around.
If you kill all the witnesses, then nobody saw you, right?
True.
Also, nice collision.
Yeah. Okay, so another clip through a door there, similar to what we did after we got the bow. Same principle applies. And then there was just no collision above that door. And usually you're supposed to...
What?
Never mind. Interesting. Where am I? Can't even see the guy's head. Oh my god. Well, this will take a while. Oh wait, never mind. I got it. That's interesting. Yeah, just need to kill one more guy. Then the doors here open. Yeah. This is all going very well.
So I need to clip through here before the guys
not making
ambush
that.
us.
Nice arrow. There we go.
Okay. Oh, now for... Wait, did I already say the best skip in the game? Because this is the best skip in the game.
Oh, is that so?
'Cause it's the worst
to
and it makes no
disagree.
sense. So we're gonna squeeze Lara into this rubble, and then hopefully it pushes Lara through the wall. And it
Usually you're
skips.
supposed to go inside that small tunnel there.
Yeah, it skips a trigger for moving really slowly. And then also a cutscene. So that looks good.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, usually there would be like a slow walking part for like 30 seconds or something.
It's like the classic, you know, when the character's in a really tight spot, you move slowly. That's what happens there.
Or not. As in this case.
Yeah.
So now we're making our way
Just
across this
don't.
bridge. We also at the campfire I got 2 skills. One allows me to just take more hits, which is kind of nice, but not like super required. The other one is more important. For later on.
What's it called again?
30 tricks.
Ah.
And it allows me to throw sand after a scramble, which by itself, like, it's supposed to be used in combat, obviously, but we will not use it for that. We'll have some interesting side effects.
What does it even do in combat?
I guess it blinds the enemies and they, like, ramble around, stop shooting you, maybe? I don't know.
Never tried it.
I would assume. Oh, Lara's climbing a tower. I'm sure
How
we can
cool
skip
do you
this
think-
cutscene, right?
How cool do you think those metal bars are?
Well, it looks like the surroundings are at least below 0, probably.
She's still rocking a tank top.
Yeah?
Okay, I think you can skip the cutscene now.
Ah, okay. Wait, why does it not work? Fuck.
Is this
What happened?
Shadow?
Right.
Maybe this started it all.
You got
Yeah,
inspired by
remember
this.
that climbing scene? That was awesome.
What if we do this, but you actually don't have to hold forward? Yeah, so for this part you actually have to hold forward, otherwise Lara doesn't move, but that's all you can and have to do. I've literally been holding forward for the past minute. Oh no, that's quite the gap. Oh well, time to go back down. Ah, yes.
Jesus Christ.
That seems reasonable.
Doesn't she have like a rope or something to help her?
Yeah, now we call for Mayday. And
Mayday! Mayday!
go all the way back down again. That was 2 minutes well spent.
But how will the plane ever find
That's
us
one way to get
That
down.
is a very good
without
question.
blowing something up?
Oh, well, lucky you. Do I have news for you? But wait, we need fire, right? Oh. Well, hello there.
Nice. Convenient.
This should do the trick.
This seems fine.
Wait, it's gonna blow up, then we should like move out of it.
Eh.
Okay.
Oh, there's the plane. I think it missed us.
Did you also blow that up?
Well, I skipped the cutscene, so I don't know.
Yeah, basically this island is cursed. Nobody can leave, so the plane gets struck by lightning.
Mm-hmm.
And to solve the curse, the bad guy is trying to sacrifice. What's her Sammy? Is that her name?
Samantha, but Sam. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Lara's best friend, basically. They captured her
Yeah.
and somehow see her as the reincarnation of the local
Pilot, I have to
goddess.
get to him.
And yeah, that sounds like a reasonable plan. I think Lara is a-okay with that.
So Lara's in the position right now, of,
Okay.
like the classic test where it's, where it's like a train is coming and it's gonna run over one person or five people. But in this case, it's like the one person is Sam and the other are everyone else on this island.
Yes.
So yeah, the choice is obvious.
So skywalks, hopefully.
This one's tricky in particular at the start because of how unsmooth the wall is. But once you get here, it's actually a really nice spot to just practice skywalks. Because this wall's really nice. And here you have to get a bit of speed to get high enough to go
Around the
hit
corner.
a trigger.
Yeah, there's a trigger
Or
that would
avoid triggers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a fight trigger there at the bottom where Lara would get trapped, like heads up, and then you would have to shoot the enemies and stuff like that. But yeah, with that not triggering, you can also see that the level is a bit weird with how the textures are loaded. Also, by crossing that river as a failsafe, we get rope arrows, which is very handy because we need rope arrows right here. Magic river. Thank you.
When would you normally get it? Just after the fight?
I wouldn't know.
I don't remember.
Probably, I guess, maybe. Oh, that's Rob.
I'm
Hello.
really glad you moved.
Goodbye. Okay, let's see how this will not work. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, the death plane here is pretty close to where we're skywalking,
Yeah.
in case you couldn't tell.
Yeah, the skywalks usually need a bit of a
Oh
wind
my
up.
god.
It's kind of a, what would you call it? Like a sort of a 360 at the
Okay.
start.
I think I'll just go the normal way. I'll try one more.
And the 360 gives you the initial speed, but it also puts you
Oh.
lower a bit.
Oh, no, never mind. Okay, I'll go the normal way.
The skywalk saves like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Except if you don't get it, then yeah.
It doesn't really skip anything, it just skips slower movement.
Exactly.
It's just like a slight shortcut.
I'm gonna head down and join the others on the plane. You can check the
You can see we're going a bit to the right here, but we actually want to be going to the left.
Yeah, so the
So
skywalk
it's
would
just
come
more.
up there. It would come, like the routes basically merge up here on this platform.
What's your
Yeah.
situation?
And also this climbing is pretty slow.
Exactly.
City. This place is insane, Ross. What the hell are they doing?
And we would skip out on this. What are you doing,
I
Lara?
don't think
On this crucial radio conversation.
Nothing yet. Are you with Lara?
Oh wait, right, now they're here. I haven't done this in. Oh my god, yeah, clearly I haven't done this in a while.
Okay. We'll try to get in a bit closer.
Anyways, yeah, so you can see the parachute of the pallet there in the distance. So we have to cross this valley somehow.
Yeah. Well, that's actually the co-pilot. The pilot's already dead. There's like any hope of survivors because Lara feels kind of guilty,
Oh no.
or so I would assume.
Am I already on VSync or what is happening?
Frames look good to me.
Please go up, Lara.
Yeah, this one was really tricky. You have
my
very
God.
limited space to get going.
All the time I saved with inch out of bounds put to good use. Okay, there we go.
Like I would say your jump to the wall is more important because if you're too low, then it's already impossible.
Yeah.
Here we get a bit of height to go around these walls, and then drop all the way down without dying because that's fine.
Yeah, skywalks have some weird like fall damage cancelling, but also not really. It's I don't know.
worry, there's
Yeah.
gonna be another way off this rock.
Yeah. Also,
I hope so.
throwing sand
Yeah,
Sam.
it's just throwing sand.
Japanese
lets us slide.
Yes. So if you
Here it doesn't do much other than
sightseeing.
going slightly faster.
yeah, so if you do dirty tricks at the start of a radio conversation like that, Lara gets stuck in this weird sliding animation. Usually you would do a slow walk there, but that's slightly faster.
Queen. Himiko?
Oh look, it's the co-pilot.
Captain Jessup?
Captain Jessup,
Oh no.
you good?
And censored. Oh, we're captured.
What do you mean censored? If you
Uh,
don't like gore, look away.
By the way. Oops. But you see, this time we're the other way around, and as we know, if your hands are tied up, you just pull. Work the first time and works again.
Yeah, too bad she couldn't set herself on fire to get free.
What's happening here?
So now we're in the or close to the monastery, and here we will pick up a pretty important weapon. Shotgun. And it allows, well, first of all, it's very efficient in close quarter combat, obviously. And more importantly, basically, is that it allows us to destroy certain objects, like walled off areas. We kind of need that. Again, here, since it's a windy special area, we roll since it's faster than scramble jumping. Also, there is a shotgun that's handy. And these are the kind of like boards we can destroy with the shotgun. So as a tutorial, first of all, shotgun will disappear, and then second of all, we can shoot this, and then we completely ignore the actual route and go back out of bounds. Mountain climbing.
Yeah, there's a new trick here Caddy's gonna do. So the bash that we talked about before also lets you walk on invisible walls, and you can use that to get enough distance to get around all of the invisible walls and actually go out of bounds here.
Yeah, now it's
So
just
now we just
matter of
skill
hitting low triggers.
top side.
Exactly. Also that enemy in the background. Just having a good time, I guess. And that's the main part of the monastery. So there is a puzzle in here that we still have to do, since the trigger for the next level is actually at the end of that puzzle. Oh well. Do not have any arrows, that's a shame. So here we just need to shoot this pendulum, or yeah, move it into these almost destroyed pillars.
To destroy the building we are currently in.
Exactly.
Because that makes sense.
That's the only way out. Building doesn't exist, then you can proceed.
Because it's too windy to set it on fire.
Right. Some guys will spawn in, and after we get rid of them, we get a checkpoint, we can reload the checkpoint. And as you can see, shotgun is pretty helpful. Camera. Okay. Sure. Sure this will still work with one cycle. Also, audio warning. Might get loud.
Fine for me.
I wonder why.
So now everything falls apart, but Lara knows she's made of steel, so she's fine.
Yeah, so the plan worked out with destroying the building. And yeah, the audio balance is just off on that particular part. Now it's fixed itself. And this is what we want the shotgun for. I mean, obviously if we could skip the shotgun, we would also skip this part, since we would not have to go into the monastery, but there are more of these obstacles later on.
Roth, are you there?
I'm heading towards the palace. The others are being held there too.
I'll catch up to you.
Yeah, because you could technically skip it, right? The shotgun.
Correct, yeah.
Never seen that.
Because this is like the area we were in earlier, where I tried to do the skywalk across the waterfall. It's like
You
the
can
same
just
area,
go
but
here.
lower down. So I assume there is some way to do that.
If you show up to the ceremony,
Cheeky checkpoint reload here to save 5 meters, and also having the door already open down there. Usually there are more boards you have to destroy with the shotgun.
Didn't know that.
Insane ammo saving. One shotgun shell. Now we sneak past these enemies. Oh no, they saw us. Unfortunate.
No way around. I've got to cross.
So since Lara is trapped now, the enemies don't follow her and make sure to shoot her. That's pretty good.
They know she's having a moment.
So yeah, this is where we would get into trouble without a shotgun. I mean, we can still get into trouble with the shotgun.
There's actually a lot of cool death animations you can have here.
Yeah, this is probably one of the most infamous spots. And the thing most people remember about this game. Lara getting hurt. a bit. And this leads straight into another amazing segment where there can be more cool death animations.
Yeah. But how would you even know about those?
That's weird. What? What?
Oh, what?
When was that? Okay. Sure.
How'd you not die?
I don't know. Like, the game froze and she was in the stumbling
Yeah.
animation.
Oh, it froze for you? Yeah, it lags
Yeah.
for me. as
No,
well.
no,
What the
it
hell?
froze for me as well. But I didn't have the damage indicators on the side of the screen either, so I don't know what happened. Maybe it wasn't the best idea to have a Discord stream at the same time. Oh well. Always blame
It's
that.
fine.
So now we're in the shanty town, and Lara is hurt, so she cannot scramble. And we're supposed to, like, go in a small tunnel up there and get to the helicopter and get fire arrows and stuff, but we can also not do that, hopefully. Because this
Yeah,
clip is a bit
can
tricky.
You can split the model and the camera again, and then by doing like a scripted action, like climbing, it forces the fuse. So that
Yeah, it's
makes
very
it
similar to
easier
the
there.
clip we did at the bunker at the start. Oh no.
You're screwed. I mean, you're already almost dead.
Checkpoint to the
How can
rescue.
you fight all of these guys?
I think there's no way out.
And you've there's nowhere you can go.
I don't know if this will work. I don't think this will work. Fine. Let's try again. I've actually had troubles with this one lately, so I'm not surprised. Why? Come on.
Your frame rate's a lot lower here.
Why is she getting pushed out again? Come on, don't do this to me, Laura. Thank you.
Oh, nice.
Turns out there is a way for me to go.
Yeah, so the classic jump into the wall, weapon toggle, bash backwards there. Everyone does it differently, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did not do it like that when I was doing attempts, but whatever.
Now we're coming up to probably the biggest skip in the game.
Mhm.
And it's also it's the biggest in length that it takes to do it, and it also skips the most.
Grim! You escaped!
So first, out of bounds, skill some rocks. So you can bash to get on top of them, and a skywalk here to get higher. Nice. That's like half of it. Now for the weirdest part of any trick in any game. We're gonna scale an invisible mountain by stumbling on it. And then you have to roll off onto real mountains at the correct time.
Okay.
Nice.
This is where you would
Trick.
usually come out in the intended route, so there's a checkpoint here, and we can reload that to also load in the rope we have to use next here. Otherwise it would not
And
exist.
that's a huge skip.
Yeah, it skips like
Skips,
2.5 levels.
Yeah.
I've been trying
It
to
skips a
reach
bunch
you.
of people from dying, so that's
True.
nice.
The right tools, we might have trouble getting it up and running.
Skips. You get like a grenade launcher or something, right?
Yes, correct.
I'm on my
So
way.
Also,
don't
what is
have that.
happening right now? That's
Oh wow, you're flying, dude. How much time did that save?
I think it saved exactly 0 seconds. I timed it.
So yeah, that's the dirty tricks
Literally.
walkie-talkie that we can do coming up as well, and then it will save time.
Yeah.
And that's also why it's on English.
That's also why we'll enable VSync soon.
Yes, don't forget that part.
Why would you forget that? Yeah, so
So
as
the
you saw,
walkie-talkie
yeah, go ahead.
the walkie-talkie section, the length of it is determined by the language, because in English they talk a bit slower than in other languages, apparently. And that gives Keddy enough time to reach somewhere safe to fall, because as soon as that walkie-talkie is over, you just fall down. So if you don't have enough time for that, then you die. There are ways around it though, but
Alex said that you're on your way down.
Like with some other languages, you
Oh.
can still make it to this pylon we're going for, but you have to land earlier, and you're in a slow walk a bit earlier. And with some languages, you just straight cannot make it. They're so fast, you drop way earlier.
Yes, Sam. I need you to keep this.
Yeah, we want to land down there, and the V-sync is actually because the damage, like fall damage, is dependent on
Laura,
FPS,
I don't know about this.
frame
Just
rate.
trust me. It's the only way.
So that might have been a bit early.
You be careful.
And with this, we... well, that's very fluent and definitely what I wanted.
God. That was
Yes.
fast.
Yeah. Definitely did that very well.
Easy.
What is having a heart anyways?
So this section is kind of random
I will wait for the health regen.
in how angry the guys are at you. And also in getting under this collision.
Come on, jump,
So there's a
jump.
whole sequence on this boat where, or
What are
whatever it
you-
is.
What are you? Why am I in a skywalk? How do I get out of a skywalk? Hello? Please, Lara? Okay. Okay. Okay, we're getting there, maybe? Yes, okay. Okay, good.
And this ship or whatever transforms at some points, and this ladder thingy ends up being the final part where you end up. So it has the trigger on it. So we just go to that trigger early and then skip the whole thing. And then we get to the beach,
Shipwreck Beach.
which we were going for what again?
Well, once we get here, we actually get a campfire at the bottom, which we will not go to, but like we already got it basically once we get through this next
Something tells me the others found an easier
like
way.
crawl here. And at the Shipwreck Beach, there is a ship that we want to get onto to get a bow upgrade.
Made it.
Do we need that bow upgrade?
Well, technically, it is possible to skip it
Well, why
if you are
are we
a
not doing
Taz.
that then? Yeah. So since sadly I'm not a Taz, I'm a lowly human, I have to do some chicanery first. So here we skip ahead to another campfire. This will probably not work. Never mind.
Tie? Oh. Yeah, very tricky skywalk there because the visuals of the rocks don't add up to the collision of it.
And Lara turns
And-
invisible. Doesn't
Yeah,
help.
that too. And you actually don't have that much space to actually not fall. Which makes that one pretty hard.
Which allows to get into the research base early and get a checkpoint or a campfire here. And as I said earlier, between campfires, or most of them, you can fast travel. And once we get rid of 2 enemies here, we can use that to make our way down to the Shipwreck Beach again. And get that bow
Actually
upgrade.
using
Just wait for
RPG
it
elements.
to get worse.
Is this Skyrim?
So we have to get like a part for the boat to be repaired,
Mm-hmm. And then
which is technically optional for
True.
some reason.
This will also be the last skywalk in the run. Because I'm not skipping it. Otherwise we would do some more later on.
Yeah. So the bow,
Never mind.
the bow that you get after this allows you to do the rope arrow into certain walls, and that it is necessary to do 4 times if you don't use glitches. If you do use glitches, you could technically skip those 4 sections,
What the?
and
What?
that would let you skip the bow. But the last 2 that you have to do are so difficult that it's not really.
But I'd rather
doable
not.
yet.
Yeah, checkpoint reload
Mm.
here brings us straight to the beach, not having to go through water. And here at the campfire, we automatically get the upgrade. Yeah. Compound bow. And now we go back to the campfire we just unlocked earlier, back at the research base.
There's also upgrades for weapons you can do that are pretty cool. For example, the bow has explosive arrows, and you can do some kind of damage boosting with it. It's kind of funny. You can get a short airwalk with it,
In the lower levels.
but it takes way too much scrap or whatever to upgrade it.
And we're just making our way to the final part of the mainland, basically, and before we head off to the endgame area. Here we can just clip up by scrambling backwards into the wall there. There is supposed to be a fight taking place here after you go up the main stairs, but yeah, as you can see, not happening.
Also a cutscene that explains the plot,
Oops.
where Lara has like a moment of clarity, like, oh, that's how it works, or whatever.
Well, guess she will not have that moment of clarity. So she continues along her way of destruction.
But Matthias already knows and is already on his way
Wait,
to
who's
execute
Matthias?
the plan. The bad guy that we've
Oh.
never seen.
Oh no, what's happening?
He works in mysterious ways.
Damn it! No!
And we know about him in mysterious ways.
I've got to get back there.
We shouldn't be here. Well then, please leave. Thank you.
Well, that's the whole point of this game. Is to leave.
Yeah, at this point in a casual playthrough, or you know, the intended way is to have, at this point, have a tool called the rope ascender, which allows you to zip up these kind of zip lines at high speed, and we don't have that. That's one of the things we skipped. So basically, in the distance there, you can see a shipwreck. That's our original ship. In the storyline, you would go back onto that ship and get that tool, but yeah, not doing that. It's way too far. Way too much of a detour to warrant getting it over just climbing these ropes slowly. And that's pretty
Also,
much...
the guy that's there dies anyway, so it
Right,
doesn't matter.
so now he doesn't die. He just stays there,
Ready to go. Come aboard.
Yes,
trapped
gets-
underneath rubble.
He doesn't get the final kiss.
True.
Lara, what do you expect
So that was it for the
when I get
main part of the island, basically. Now we just go inland to the final area.
There's the soul of an
Um,
ancient Sun Queen trapped
And
in a dead body.
luckily, after we skip this cutscene, we cannot skip this cutscene for whatever reason. They were really proud of this one. There's like one other cutscene, I think, in the game that you also cannot skip. The rest you can all skip. So sadly, they were more inspired by those you cannot skip for the later games, or the ones you can skip. Then,
That was so awesome when Jonah was like talking.
Only we Atreus to guide
yeah,
us
these
to
are
the entrance
two of
rather
our
than
friends,
Sam.
the two that are still with
More
us.
people means more danger of being spotted.
One of them is pretty weird.
Taking out as many of those targets as we can. It won't just be
And
for
he's the
our
one that
leader,
keeps
but
hanging
for
around for
our
the other
leaders,
2 games
Samurai,
as well.
the Queen's Stormguard.
Does he say little bird in Rise?
Me or
Yes.
Sam, shoot it.
He does?
I think so, yes.
Oh my
So kiss him
god.
goodbye.
For weird.
We got your back, boss.
Thank you, epic dude guy. So from this point onward, Lara decides it's a good plan to just charge into the enemy base by herself. So this will be the first thing we had to skip if we would not have gotten the bow upgrade, because the bow upgrade lets us do this. I think this one is pretty easy, right? To skip? I think it's... or is this one...
It's just a skywalk, but it's
Yeah.
pretty difficult to
Okay.
do. You don't have that much space.
Just know it's not the worst.
Yeah, these ones are doable. And then here you would already be taking a different route to get on the left there, and then you can jump across. So that's why it was so appealing. Like, oh, these two are doable. It's already halfway there,
Just 2 more to go.
but it's not. Like relatively, it's not halfway. We're like 2%.
So there we alerted this guy early by shooting the pistol into the room. This actually locked the door, and there would be 2 guys coming through that door, so we just locked them out basically. So we only had to fight 1 guy, and here is a stealth segment. And a shimmying segment.
I always found this weird. Because, like, how did they not see you?
Just
How is it
legs
stealth?
dangling.
It's like, on my first playthrough, I was like, do I really need to go here?
This can't be the way. 1 hour later, okay, I guess I'll try.
Yeah.
Oh no, we got caught.
And now they see. Get her.
But how do we do that? Oh, this seems reasonable.
Low shiver. So that kind of introduces a new enemy type, which have a bunch of armor,
Yeah.
so they acquire 2 shots.
If you hit, that is.
They also do a bunch of damage.
How can they be alive after all this time?
And we're approaching the, like, what we call big fight. It's a pretty big fight, so I think the naming makes sense. It's
Nice.
basically split into 3 somewhat distinct phases. And there is like a pretty reliable route or strat to go through, but in the end you're still pretty reliant on enemy behavior, which can be somewhat random. But yeah, since we never really upgraded our gear or got any combat skills, it's a bit more dicey than it should be in casual play.
Yeah, in this first section, they kind of have a spawn pattern to them.
Need to kill
So we
4
can-
of the melee guys, so first we need to wait for them to actually jump over here. Just wait out. Get back.
What?
Anyways. There are also these explosive barrels in certain spots we can use. And I don't need to kill an extra. Never mind. I tried. That leads us to phase 2, where we need to kill 3 archers and then a bunch of other enemies. That's interesting. That's 1. That's 2. That's almost 3. Please
And
don't.
the archers also require 2 shots for some reason.
Yeah, so then
Did
you
the archer die?
I think so. I hope so.
Shut him down.
We'll see soon enough. Well, there's one melee guy lagging behind at least. Yeah, he died, okay.
Okay.
And then we will have checkpoint here for the final phase, where we will actually pretty much camp one spot. And turns out if you hit them somewhat correctly, mid-air, they down 1 hit. So we can try to abuse that here. Well, not if they spawn rapidly in succession. Oh well, I tried. Why are the archers so far away? Oh my god, not hitting anything. Luckily there's one. Oh,
Oh,
no, he's
that was a
gone.
nice lineup.
Oh well, the archer got away. Okay, 3 shotgun shots. Luckily there are 3 more guys.
Exactly enough.
I just need to get that archer. And then he just went down. Okay.
Oh, that's pretty good. You can pretty easily die here as well, so.
Yeah. Like you're usually 2 or 3 shots, even just from normal arrows. Which is where that additional hits we can take from the skill I got is pretty handy. Please load.
So this next room you can skip in like 5 different ways. And we're gonna do the out of bounds one.
Hopefully.
So you can clip with the door and then there's enough collision to go around here. And then, yeah, I don't know how to explain this. Just
You roll and
you kind of roll into a tight spot and then hope you get through.
yes. And that allows us to skip this big gate here. We actually have to do at least one of the different skips here. You can't do it the intended way because we would need the rope ascender to swing a pendulum or a big bell at that gate to break it open. But since we don't have that, we're reliant on at least one of the skips.
Maybe that's the reason why there are so many variations, because people looked for it a lot.
Thank you, Crystal Dynamics. So thoughtful.
No, that's not what I meant.
I know.
No thanks to them.
Okay, never mind. Thank you, thank you, retracted.
Thanks to speedrunners.
Okay, so here's where we do the 3rd skip. Oh wait.
Yeah, this is this one I would say is the hardest because it's most random.
Yeah.
You have to scale the mountains that always gonna slide you down. And you have to work against it. It's really impossible.
Instead we get to do climbing, which is also impossible. Fair trade-off. Good gate.
Nice door.
And here we are also supposed to use or they expect us to use the rope ascender to get across this rope. But since we don't have it, like there, so you will see that the level kind of crumbles here a bit. There's a scripted event where you would grab that beam. But since we don't have the rope ascender and that extra speed, we kind of have to stop there for a moment and trigger the event a bit weirdly.
Yeah, if you just keep climbing, you'll fall
Yeah.
past the
We'll
beam.
overshoot it basically.
Everything we could to slow them down.
Thanks, Reyes.
This is where you would start the 4th
Yeah.
I'm not that.
skip,
We're not leaving
and you
without
go all the way around this building on very small collision. It's awesome.
That's to skip this rope here. So luckily the thunderbolt just broke off the part covering the wall where you can shoot in a rope arrow. It's pretty good.
Yeah, Lara's like, yeah, let's go there where the lightning just struck. Never strikes twice, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I think this is where you would also come out with the fourth skip, right? Like somewhere
Yeah.
around here? Yeah,
It's here, yeah. Because the building we were in is below here.
exactly.
So you do some skywalking and stuff out of bounds. Maybe someday it's done in a run. I don't know. Would be really cool.
How much does it
I've
save
done,
again? Overall?
2
minutes? Yeah.
It can save 2 minutes, but it probably won't
Probably not.
because of how hard it is, right?
Yeah.
So I've done the fourth skip in a single segment one time. It's doable, it's just really difficult. The third one is more of a problem.
Also, no final boss here?
Also here, this room is a circle, which you can go counterclockwise, and it takes a really long time and has a bunch of fights. Or you go clockwise, and then you're at the end right away.
Yeah, get ready on time. It's after this QT, once I shoot him like 10 times or whatever it is. Yeah, so there's supposed to be like this gauntlet of fights you have to go through by going counterclockwise, but by doing a pretty precise scramble jump across, we skip all of that.
There's also like a boss, I think, right?
Yeah. Now we have just a
I
QT as a
hated
boss.
that part. It's too much fighting.
Get ready on time. And time.
GG.
Long, sharp death scream.
Same.
Yeah, it was Tomb Raider 2013. Let me take a peek at my time. 106. Okay. Expected worse. Yeah, thank you very much, Robbie, for the commentary.
Yeah.
It was a lot of
Thanks for
fun
the
as
run.
always. Enjoy the screams. Thank you. I mean, we had screams in the run before, so and I know Jimmy liked those a lot, so here you have some more. Yeah, thank you for having me. If you're interested in this run or any of the other Tomb Raider runs, there is the Tomb Runner Discord. You can find the link on speedrun.com or just hitting any of us up. We will invite you. And yeah, this run, it is, I would say, pretty difficult to learn if you're starting from scratch, but it's also very satisfying once you, once, especially the skywalking kind of clicks, it starts to get really fun.
It's okay.
Can you back that up?
Saved me.
Yeah, it's definitely like, if you like a challenge, it's definitely, yeah, I think Katie and I learned it together, and I think if we didn't do it together, we wouldn't have gone through it. But we kind of, yeah,
some support is
supported
definitely-
each other.
Exactly.
So that was nice. But there's definitely a good tutorial as well
Exactly.
for it.
Yeah. And if you learn this run, it's not too difficult to also learn the other two reboot games. Like, they're not exactly the same glitch-wise, but you can transfer a lot of the knowledge. There are a lot of, like, the skywalks in all three of them, for example. Alright, will not prolong this any longer. Anything else you want to say?
Can you also take a shower in this game, or is that just the last game?
Well, see, I wasn't able to watch the stream at the end, so I'm gonna answer that with a no.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of the marathon, and yeah, bye bye.
See ya.
I think she